Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So somebody had asked me a question on watering. Now as I've said, watering depends on a lot of factors, how much of sunlight you receive, what is the type of soil, the material of pot, the depth of pot. All of these things matter. Apart from that, what season, what climate, your watering kind of depends on all of these things. So that's why watering is a very tricky subject and it completely depends upon an individual. But what I would say is there are two important things. One is if you are in doubt, don't water. For example, if you feel that there could be a little bit of water in the soil, probably there could be a little bit of moisture in the soil, don't water. Secondly, if you feel that the leaves are starting to open wide enough, even after giving a good amount of sunlight, you tend to see that the leaves are wide open, don't water. So these are the two things that I can tell you about. But there are certain succulents that definitely do not like a lot of water and they are right in front of you. I will talk about it. Apart from that, it is nearly impossible to talk about each and every succulent and its watering needs because guys, to be honest, succulents are very vast. It's like an ocean. There are so many succulents that I don't think I will be able to ever cover up all of the succulents in my lifetime. That is the amount of succulents that are present out there. Every other day there is a new succulent that comes up in the market, which again has a very different watering needs, sunlight needs. So there are so many succulents coming up. It's not only echeverias, it's haworthias, gasterias, aloes, graptovarias. There are so many coming up in the market. That's why, as I said, it's nearly impossible for a person to have all the succulents unless you have a 5 acre of land and you are collecting them from a very long time. Even that is not going to be sufficient because, as I said, every other day there is a new hybrid that comes up in the market. Apart from that, taking care of all those succulents is also going to be very, very taxing. So over here I have a few succulents that I'm going to be talking about. There are two different types of succulents over here, three different types. Two are from the same genus. Let's start off with the echeveria. Now over here I have Echeveria purpureorum and I have Echeveria dinos. Now the purpureorum is a natural variety which is a little bit rare, especially in the US. This is very rare compared to this one. This is readily available. Even though this is a hybrid, it is readily available. And in these two varieties, of course there are two different varieties. One is natural, one is hybrid. But what I have noticed is in this case, the natural variety is very delicate as compared to the hybrid. Probably that is one of the reasons why it is rare. Probably people are killing it and probably it's not working out really well. The main reason for this succulent to die is overwatering or excess moisture in the soil. If there is excess moisture in the soil, this particular succulent, which is Echeveria purpureorum, will definitely rot. I'm telling you this from my experience because I have purchased them twice earlier and both of the times they happened to die. The first time I didn't realize why it died. The second time I realized it does not require a lot of water. So the third time I'm keeping it far away from any kind of rain and any kind of moisture, and I am watering it only when the succulent is giving me signs. Until then, I'm not watering this one. If it wants to die by dehydration, I'm happy with that, but I'm definitely not going to be adding any more moisture to it. Now with this one, what I noticed, even if it gets a little bit extra water, it will not rot that easily. But yes, it does get affected with mold, with mealybugs very easily, so you have to be a little bit careful. Now being said that, that doesn't mean that you are going to water it every day. It's just that it can kind of forgive you with a little bit of excess watering. So once the soil is completely bone dry, wait for another couple of days and then go ahead and water it. So this one is more forgiving than this one. This one is not even going to give you a chance of rectifying your problem. It will rot immediately. I have seen them getting rotted within 24 hours of having excess moisture. So this one is being protected at all cost. It's under a full attention, not letting any water fall into it. So just to be on the safer side. So these were two of the echeverias. The other one that I have over here is Echeveria amiable. I'll put up the name on the screen. Now this one, I pulled it out from the rain gutter. Remember, I had taken out titubans from the rain gutter. This one is also pulled out from the rain gutter. This was a new species for me and I was learning about it. And I soon realized that this one also does not like a lot of moisture in the soil because, as I said, it was raining over here. The rain gutter came in contact with moisture. And unfortunately, because it was very cloudy, the soil will take a little bit longer to dry. Ideally, I tend to put a plastic sheet, but this time the plastic sheet flew off because of strong wind and the soil happened to get wet. Because of the cloudy environment, it is not going to dry that fast, even though my soil is very gritty, as you know. So all of the other succulents were doing fantastic. Only this one, I started to notice that it started getting 3 to 4 of yellow transparent leaves which were mushy, soft, and I could see that it is not liking that kind of a surrounding. So I immediately took it out from the soil. Now the roots are all dry, so I'm happy about it. Now that the sun is out, so I'm not much worried, but I'm not going to be putting her back in the rain gutter. This is a clear indication the succulent has given me that it does not like a lot of moisture. So I'm going to pay attention to her needs, even though it's very difficult to pay attention to each and every succulent, but when you have an option, please do it. Now I happen to notice, I think this leaf also, you can see it's a little bit transparent. You can see that. It will eventually turn yellow. The same thing happened with around 3 to 4 of them. When you notice 3 to 4 of them turning transparent, it indicates that the succulent is not liking that kind of a surrounding. It is not able to hold that moisture, even though they have a good chubby leaves. You can see probably that was not working out. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in an individual pot because I think it is special. Then comes our Graptovaria Lovely Rose. Graptovaria Lovely Rose looks absolutely beautiful. A lot of people love it, but you have to again be careful with watering. Now this one came in contact with rainwater. You can see the leaves are starting to open up. So I immediately moved it from that location because I felt like it's taking in a lot of moisture. Ideally, this is how I prefer to keep my Graptovaria Lovely Rose, a little bit more compact. I don't like to water them a lot because in past I have lost one of my Graptovaria Lovely Rose because it had got a little bit of excess moisture. It started to rot. It started to drop all its leaves. You might have this issue wherein it will start dropping all the leaves and it will only be left with few leaves on the crown area. Maybe you might have come across that issue. So ensure you're using a loose, porous, well-draining soil mix that tends to dry faster. I haven't watered it. That's why the leaves are closed inwards. I'm okay with it. In case if I happen to notice that the leaves are getting wrinkled, they are still very stiff. So when I'm going to see wrinkles on it, I will be going ahead and watering it. Now it all depends. For some people, Graptovaria Lovely Rose is very easy, probably because the environment is very dry and cooler. For me, being in the tropics, it is a little bit of challenge, so I have to be very careful and keep a close watch on it. Nevertheless, Graptovaria Lovely Rose is very easy to propagate. You can see the leaf propagations tend to work out really fast. This was one that was fallen in the pot and you can see it already has a pup. They tend to propagate really fast. But the only issue is with the watering. Now talking about sunlight requirement, they don't need a lot of direct sunlight. They will do well in indirect but bright light. The bright light should have a good intensity of anything above 2000 lux. It's going to work out really well. Watering, as I said, keep it on the lower side. It's better to keep them slightly underwatered. Otherwise, if you tend to see that the leaves are opening up, do not offer any more water. That indicates that the succulent is very well hydrated. After this, we have, I thought I will add another Graptovaria, which is Graptovaria titubans. If you remember, I had made the video. This one was taken out from the rain gutter. The same issue, the leaves started to open up wide enough. The moment they open wide enough, it indicates that they have taken a lot of moisture. Graptovaria titubans is a hardy succulent, but they do not like too much of moisture in the soil. I prefer to keep them like this, wherein they are a little bit more compact rather than having their leaves open wide like this, because there is a chance of them getting rotted. I have put them in this arrangement because all of these succulents, I tend to keep them a little bit underwatered, so it's going to do absolutely fine. The rain gutter was not a very good idea. Thankfully, I took it out well in advance and it is doing quite well. This is the one. You can see the leaves are still wide open. probably in couple of weeks it will start looking like this. If it looks like this, you are good to go. The succulent is not extremely hydrated, it is somewhere in between, not extremely dehydrated, not overwatered, and it has this perfect shape. I prefer my graptovarias to look like this. Whenever they look like this, they don't have any issue in my place, so I avoid keeping the leaves wide open or keeping them extremely hydrated, because in my environment rains can come out of nowhere, so I do not want to take a chance. So guys, that was all about it. These were just a handful of succulents. There are a lot more succulents that don't like excess water. Probably I don't have those varieties as of now. There are so many succulents, everything has a very different requirement. That is why you have to go very slow in your initial stage. Now, even though I have an experience of almost 8 years, but at times I do make mistakes, at times I misjudge and I water them, and then the result is having transparent yellow leaves on the lower portion. The moment you see yellow transparent leaves, mushy leaves on the lower portion of the succulent, that indicates that your succulent is taking in a lot of water, so you have to be extremely careful. Again, as I said, this all comes through experience. It's not that you are going to learn it overnight or it is going to happen very quick. It takes years to understand succulents, and once you get the experience, then it is quite easy to handle them. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.